You're watching Autoscopia, where legendary machines live forever. We take you beneath the hood, beyond the chrome, and into the soul of automotive icons. If it's rare, radical, or revolutionary, you'll find it right here. It's lightweight, it's beautiful, it corners like it's defying physics, and it changed the game not just for Lotus, but for sports cars everywhere. Today, we dive deep into one of the most revered drivers' cars of all time, the 1967 Lotus Elan. This isn't just about specs or speed, it's about how a small car left a giant footprint in automotive history. In the mid-20th century, one man changed motorsport and road cars forever. Colin Chapman, the founder of Lotus, wasn't just an engineer. He was a radical thinker. His philosophy: simplify, then add lightness. It was this principle that laid the foundation for the Elan. By 1962, Chapman had made a name for himself with Lotus race cars and the radical Lotus Elite. But he wanted something new, a car that was fun to drive, easy to build, and faster without relying on brute power. That car became the Lotus Elan. The Lotus Elan first appeared in 1962, but it wasn't until the late 60s, especially 1967, that the Elan matured into the iconic machine we remember today. The 1967 Lotus Elan S3 Series 3A wasn't just an update, it was a refinement of genius. Available as both coupe and convertible, the Elan S3 featured a stronger chassis, improved trim, and better build quality than its predecessors. For the first time, Lotus wasn't just making a kit car, it was crafting a serious production vehicle. Let's get into the mechanics. The Elan S3 was powered by 1.6-liter twin-cam inline-4 engine, developed by Lotus using a Ford block and a custom aluminum dock head. It produced around 105 horsepower and not earth-shattering, right? But here's the twist. The Elan only weighed about 1,500 pounds. That power-to-weight ratio made it a rocket in disguise. It could go from 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. In the mid-1960s, that was seriously quick. And with a top speed of around 120 miles per hour, it was more than a match for many larger, more expensive GT cars. Straight-line speed is one thing, but the Elan wasn't built for drag races, it was built for driving. The real magic was in the handling. With four-wheel independent suspension, rack and pinion steering, and a near-perfect balance, the Elan danced through corners. It felt alive. It made you feel connected, like the tires were an extension of your fingertips. In fact, the Elan's handling became legendary. Even today, automotive journalists and engineers reference the Elan as the benchmark for what a lightweight sports car should feel like. Gordon Murray, the mind behind the McLaren F1, has said the Elan heavily influenced his designs. That says everything. Step inside a '67 Elan and you're greeted with simplicity but never boredom. The dash is clean wood veneer, with clear Smith's gauges and rocker switches. There's no clutter. Every control has purpose. Lotus didn't go for luxury. It went for function. The bucket seats, thin-rimmed steering wheel, and short-throw geared lever all worked in harmony to make you feel like a part of the machine. Driving the Elan wasn't about comfort, it was about purity, about stripping away distractions until only the joy of driving remained. In 1967, the Elan S3 was available in drop-head coupe form, a convertible that turned every road into a moment. The lightweight fiberglass body, combined with the open roof, made driving the Elan feel like flying low to the ground. And it wasn't just a looker. The Elan's torsional rigidity, even as a convertible, remained strong thanks to its steel backbone chassis, a Lotus innovation that allowed the car to stay stiff, even with the top down. The Elan didn't just impact drivers, it influenced decades of engineering. Mazda openly admitted that the original MX-5 Miata was inspired by the Elan. You can see it in the proportions, the lightweight approach, and the driving experience. Even modern Lotus S, from the Elise to the Everest, carry the Elan's DNA, and for good reason. When you create a near-perfect driving machine, its influence doesn't fade, it echoes. While the Elan wasn't designed as a full-time race car, it still saw plenty of action. Privateers campaigned them across Europe in club racing, and the car's agility made it a giant killer. It wasn't always about horsepower, it was about brains, balance, and bravery. Just like Chapman intended. Today, The 1967 Lotus Elan is a sought-after collector's item. But unlike many classic cars, Elans are still relatively accessible. Why? Because they were built in decent numbers, around 12,000 in total over its full run, and parts remain available. However, pristine S3 examples, especially drophead coupes, are rising in value fast. Not just because they're rare, but because they offer something money usually can't buy: joy behind the wheel. Ask anyone who's driven a 67 Elan today, and you'll hear the same thing. It's not just a car, it's an experience. It rewinds time. You forget about touchscreens, traction control, and turbochargers. It's just you, the road, and the whisper of tires across tarmac. And that's the beauty of the Elan. It never relied on tech. Its brilliance was in its feel, in making the driver the center of everything. Like all classics, the Elan has its quirks: electrical gremlins, weak chassis corrosion points, especially where the steel backbone meets the suspension, and occasional fiberglass stress cracks can be issues. But enthusiasts agree it's worth the maintenance, because when it runs, it doesn't just move, it sings. The 1967 Lotus Elan wasn't the fastest, flashiest, or most expensive car of its era, but it might be the most perfect. A car designed not to impress, but to involve. In an age of supercars and overpowered beasts, the Elan reminds us what driving used to be and what it still can be: light, nimble, alive. This was the 1967 Lotus Elan, a featherweight legend with heavyweight legacy. A car that proves you don't need a V12 to feel invincible, just passion, precision, and a twisty road. If you enjoyed this ride through automotive history, hit that like button, subscribe to Autoscope, and let us know in the comments, what car should we dive into next. Until next time, stay curious, drive fearless.